die has been cast. All that remains is to see this through.
Ni hao. China. When I think of China, I think of a couple of things. Great food, great action movies, cheap crap, and most importantly, the Yellow Turban Rebellion. This is my review of Dynasty Warrior Origins. And it's like the 25th time they're making Dynasty Warrior game and Yellow Turban Rebellion. Same story, every time. So let's take a look if they can breathe some new air into the series, or if they just keep kicking the same dead horse again, and again, and again.
気を引き締めて臨まねばなりますまい。また胸が躍って仕方ないってか。
Now I played Dynasty Warriors games mostly on my PlayStation 2. I played Dynasty Warriors 2, 3 and 4, and then I did play Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires on PlayStation 3, if I remember correctly. Also I played one Dynasty Warriors games, which was one of those Empires games, and that was for PlayStation 4. I can't remember, it was probably 8. Yeah, it was probably 8. Usually the story in those is pretty straightforward, and what I mean by that is that it's a pretty straightforward campaign. It's not much of a story. It takes place during the Three Kingdom era in China, and well, every kingdom's trying to take over China. The regular games were mostly about beating enemies, pretty straightforward, but the Empire versions, they added the little diplomatic flair there, you know, where you could strategize with enemies and friends, allies. I always liked those more, but it's not like it was a deep system, so mostly it was just about the combat too. It was just, you can also talk to your enemies if you want. But Dynasty Warriors Origins throws all that into a trash can. This one actually adds a kind of story mode. This one has a coherent story from start to finish. You know, it's not just about campaign and trying to conquer. I mean, there's obviously that too, but still the story probably won't blow your mind. It's pretty much the same basic story, but it does add some flair, and it gives maybe more motivation to play through this game than just wander aimlessly from battle to battle. In this one, the story is actually really original. The government's evil, they keep kicking around people, people get tired and they're hungry and they want food and they don't want to be kicked around anymore, so they put on their little yellow hats and start fucking with the government. That's basically how Yellow Turban Rebellion started. So yeah, it's the 168 Dynasty Warriors games where it's the same set pieces pretty much, but the Yellow Turban Rebellion only lasts like the first chapter. There's 5 chapters, but after that there's still some Yellow Turban Rebellion going on, but mostly it focuses on 3 different factions and you kind of have to choose which one you want to help to be the ruler of China, you know, which one you want to help conquer China, which one do you think brings the peace most efficiently to China. Oh, and obviously your main character is a guy with K-pop hair, which I hate. I wish they would have let us choose our main protagonist. At least like the appearance. At least give option to put mustache on him. It didn't ruin the experience for me, but goddammit, I'm not a fan of that hairstyle. Anyway, our main character is a guy who knows how to fight. Real good. Problem is, he doesn't know why he knows how to fight. 'Cause he's lost his memory. Yeah, okay, this isn't really the most original story ever, but it's still, you know, I had fun with it. I enjoyed it, and the main character gets some visions from a fire and some people he knew when he was you know, just a small boy or younger boy, and there's basically 2 storylines advancing here. One is the conquering of China, and one is the where you try to figure out who the hell you are and where you came from and why you are like you are. This is not a spoiler, this is pretty much something that comes up really early in the game. He keeps seeing this girl and she tells him that he's the defender of peace. And that is why you go around and kill a ton of people. And when I say ton of people, I mean hundreds of thousands of people. You know, ain't no better way to bring peace than to kill everyone. I mean, go to the cemetery. That's pretty much the most peaceful place there is. Look, peasant, I have brought peace to you and all of China.
Well, of course it's peaceful now that you've killed everyone. What's the matter with you? You can't call yourself defender of peace and go around and slaughter everyone in sight. I bet you're one of those people who silences a crying baby by giving it a good slap and a shake. Listen how peaceful it is now when everyone's food for the maggots. If something, you should be
Right.
and sleep away. Ah!
So peaceful again.
すでに我らは黄金を追い詰めた。おそらくこたびの戦で決着がつこう。
Now, on your quest to bring peace to China by slaughtering everyone one by one, you also meet a big cast of characters. And when I say big cast of characters, I mean, fuck, there's like every Chinese name from the phone book. I mean every name. I could never remember everyone's name, but then again, in the old games too, I kind of remember the main players, some of them at least, you know. Here you have the three factions. There's that one guy called Coco, C-A-O, Coco. Also there's the Sun Clan, which are the guys who wear red. Coco's clan wears blue. And then there's Liu Bei, who wears green. Then there's other characters you probably know from all the old Dynasty Warriors games, if you played those. You know, Dong Shuo, Lu Bu, there's even Lu Su, Gang Ning, and a bunch of others. Just massive cast of characters. And like I mentioned earlier, there's 5 chapters, and between chapters the time can kind of jump forward quite a bit at times, so don't expect anything too deep with every character. Some of the characters, they stay kind of thin, but who cares? There's a ton of characters, so yeah, just try to remember the key players. That's what I did, and I did good, you know. Sometimes I'd see some guy and he'd come talking to me like we grew up together or something, and I'm like, fuck, do I know you? Who the hell are you? Then he says his name is like Ling something, and I'm, oh, that cuts it down. This is China. Great. Now the first 2 chapters, you kind of learn all the key players in this game, you know, all the faction leaders, Coco, Sun Clan, and Liu Bei, and, you know, some of the bad guys too. But mostly the first 2 chapters, you take care of the bad guys that are around that time, and you kind of try to make up your mind which faction you want to side with in the 3rd chapter, because that's when the game and the story mode takes multiple paths. Well, 3 different paths, you know. Well, it depends who you choose. I played it through once. It took me over 50 hours, so yeah. I gotta get this review out. I went with the Sun Clan because I look good in red, except my main character didn't get to wear a red suit. He was always in black, so... Well, I look good in black too, except not with that K-pop hair. That doesn't look good anyway. Fuck, I hate that. Also, there's 6 different endings, so I'm guessing 2 endings per faction. I got the regular ending. There's always regular ending, and then there's the true ending, so you know, there's a lot to play through. But luckily, once you beat the game, you can jump into any chapter you want. So, you know, you can go straight back to 3 and choose another faction and move forward there with that faction, so you don't have to replay the whole game unless you want to. It's a fun game, so I kind of want to. But when it does come to the storytelling, I really like how different all the 3 factions were. You know, how everyone thought it would be best way to bring peace to China. You know, there's the Coco dude who's more like governorial type, you know, all business and politician and shit. Of course, him, I said, fuck off. And there's Liu Bei, who seemed more like, a bit more spiritual fella, you know, like, be compassionate and doesn't really believe in the iron fist ruling like maybe Coco there. And then there was the Sun Clan, which just seemed to be kind of fucked and lost, you know, like, the hell are we gonna do? So, I don't know, I'm always lost, so I felt drawn to that clan, so I went with them. Right, so in order to achieve peace, here's my plan. We have to kill these guys over here. But, because those guys, like these guys, we're gonna have to kill those guys too.
Yeah, but there's only one problem. If we kill those guys, then these guys are gonna be real pissed too.
Right, so we'll kill these guys, and we'll kill those guys, and after that, we'll kill these guys over here.
Hey, my cousin works for these people.
So...
Well, if you kill them, I'm gonna be bummed out.
Right, so we kill these guys, we'll kill those guys, we'll kill these guys, and then we'll kill him. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Good.
Wait a minute.
来たか。戦は大勝であったな。
But now we get to probably the most important aspect of Dynasty Warriors games, which is the gameplay. I mean, the story was nice. I liked all the factions. I liked the overall story. It's just, political backstabbing and all that drama. That's great. I always enjoyed that. It wasn't like the best story, but it was good. It was good enough, I really enjoyed it. But gameplay. In this type of game, where the goal is to just kill a lot of people, gameplay is really important. It's a bit of a red flag, I was kind of worried that I'd be really fucking bored at some point and just quit. But I actually really enjoyed this. Probably because I've taken a long break from last Dynasty Warriors. Like I said, it was Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires? Yeah, I haven't played this every year, so that's the key. This one did it good. This one added just, perfect amount of all kinds of different situations in the battlefield, and it made the battlefield just probably the most epic, massive battles I've seen in any game so far, ever. Let's keep out all the trolls and all those dragons and all that shit. Man versus man. Man armies versus man armies. There were women too. I'm not being chauvinistic here, I'm just painting a picture here. A lot of Chinese folks on both sides, and it's like on a Lamb of God concert, Wall of Death. Except they ain't killing each other. So sometimes there's accidents and someone might get a broken nose or something, but so if you want to be dick about it and paint a really dull picture to someone who's never played Dynasty Warriors games, you could say you just press square and you press triangle and you kill a lot of people and you keep pressing those for 50 hours and that's about it. But it's not that. It's not just that. It's a lot of that, but you got different combos, which is great. Also, on top of that, you got battle arts, which are these kind of more... You have to collect bravery, which are these yellow little circles, and you get more bravery the more you kill people. In a game like this, that's a pretty natural way to grow a bar, because there's a lot to kill. And then you can unleash your battle arts, and these are the special moves you get to use the most. And there's some pretty devastating battle arts too, Some battle arts you use to counter enemy officers' special moves or strong attacks. So, you kind of always want to keep some of that bravery right there in the storage, just in case you're gonna need it. Because all the battle arts, they take different amounts of bravery. The biggest and the baddest moves, obviously, they take like 6, 7, 8 balls of bravery. The more balls you got, the more braver man you are. So yeah, basically battle arts are special attacks and they do a lot of damage. But there's also your Muso attack. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. M-U-S-O-U. And for that you have different bar. And guess how that bar fills? That's right, mass murdering people. But once you get to unleash that beast... So obviously it's much more devastating attack. It's like battle arts slow cousin. Takes more time to get there, but once it gets there, it's gonna need some horse tranquilizer to calm down again. I mean, let me tell you, there's nothing more therapeutic than to unleash Musho attack in the middle of enemy army. Just lay waste there. Just watch people flying. I mean, it's kind of like going to the fridge and getting a bottle of milk, then dropping it, and it'll break, and there's milk everywhere. It's like that, except you feel great because you don't have to clean up after that. But those are not my favorite moves. No. There's also squad moves. Well, these ones you can't actually acquire by mass murdering a lot of people. These ones have timer. And the more devastating the squad attack, the bigger the timer. There's ones that take like 140 seconds, ones that take over 200 seconds. Now there are some kind of pussy ones like guard this area where, if you have allied soldiers around, they start guarding an area. Or maybe they'll march towards enemies in some direction or something like that. Those were kind of, I didn't really use those. But my favorites, there was ones where they throw in these big boulders. That's kind of cool. It wasn't the most devastating attack, but it was still cool. But my second favorite was this cavalry attack. Your guys, once you attack, there's huge enemy army out there in front of you. Use the cavalry attack and all your allies jump on horses and they just ram the shit out of those. It looks like someone's bulldozing Mountain Dew cans. But my absolute favorite, there's volley, which means, there's archers and they shoot arrows into whatever area you pick. But why shoot just arrows when you can shoot flaming arrows? That's right, that was fucking awesome. I always loved that. It never got boring. Especially if you get to a high cliff, then you get this dramatic bonus effect also, because you're being more tactical, you know. Better to fire arrows downwards. But it looks so cool and so devastating when there's this sea of fire just raining down on your enemies. And anyway, those were pretty much all these special attacks and all that. There's enemy officers out there in the field, and you gotta kill those. Usually when you kill enemy officer, all his soldiers also kind of, well, they flee the battlefield, so that's always good place to go. For me, I really like to usually just hack away all the soldiers before I go for the enemy officer, because I'm kind of sadistic defender of peace in that way. Most of the officers, they aren't really that challenging, but there are some who put up a better fight, and I love it. There's the battlefield, and it always starts, your guys are usually outnumbered, and they're like in this little corner of the map, and there's a lot of different routes, and there's different officers on your side and on the enemy's side, and they all take different routes, so there's a little bit of strategizing. There's enemy bases all around the map usually. You can try to conquer those. It'll lower the enemy's morale and makes them easier. But you can't just go around and kill everyone, because you also gotta keep your eye on usually your own commander, or it could be a couple of guys on your side who, if they get defeated, then it's battle over, game over. Which sucks, you don't want that. And obviously if you die, well, it's game over too. But yeah, strategic battles. Also there can be traps on the battlefield, like logs rolling down this hill or rocks. So that's always, that's variety in the battle situations. Also you might be taking on some group of enemies, but perhaps you haven't noticed there's a cliff and there might be enemy archers. So you might want to go and kill those first before you continue killing the people below the cliff. But yeah, just tons of stuff that makes the battlefield feel really alive. And yeah, I said it a couple times here, but the most impressive thing is just the scope. Once you get to some of the later levels, and there's just big open field, and it's filled with enemy soldiers, and it's the most impressive battles I've probably seen ever in any game. It's, you know, human-wise. Of course, some big-ass dragon or King Kong or whatever, that's always gonna look impressive, but just, you know, mano y mano, man against man. Regular humans. Well, some are kind of wizardy, you know, they can summon ghosts and all that kind of stuff, which brings a little bit of flavor into the battles too, but they don't really go overboard with that, which was kind of weird. It seemed like they only did the supernatural stuff mostly in the first chapter, and after that they were like, okay, that's enough of that, let's just do the regular stuff, regular Dynasty Warriors stuff from now on. You got 9 different weapons, if I remember correctly. There's sword, spear, whatever, lance. There's these rings you can throw like boomerangs, and gauntlets, or as I like to call them, back scratchers. And all those weapons, they have their own levels. But once you get one level to one weapon, you also get a level for your character. So that's why it's good to play with every weapon, so you don't just get stuck with one type. Because, you know, when you get levels to your weapons, your own guy also gets better and gets levels with the weapons too. There's 8 levels on every weapon, but after you beat the game, it opens up more levels for every weapon, and you get better weapons, and after you beat the game, after that you can start upgrading the weapons too, and yeah, it just opens up whole lot of stuff once you beat the game. It motivates you to play again. And again, and again. So yeah, I am digging that too. So that was mostly the story and the gameplay. Audio side, Dynasty Warriors on PlayStation 2, I remember those soundtracks were always filled with that Japanese metal guitars, which are really distinct. You really know those. I think Dynasty Warriors 2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you could actually listen to that CD in your CD player, you know, you put it in a CD player and it plays the tracks in the game. It was either that or I stayed in the menu and listened to all those songs for way too much, and I got kind of tired of that Japanese metal guitar. It's cool, but it's just, I listened to it so much back then that, yeah, I kind of lost interest. In this one, luckily they don't really rely on that too much. They have more kind of fitting music. How would you call it? More epic music? More Chinese sounding, you know, like epic battle music. So yeah, I really dug that, and overall the sounds when you're out there in the middle of battle, it's just, I have surround system, it sounds great. It's not like war movie obviously, but really dug the sounds. I got nothing bad to say about the sounds or the musics. Really like them all. Voice actors, there was a ton of voice actors, but what I remember, they did a good job. Had no problem with those either. That's about all I have to say about the audio. It was good. It was great. I think I've covered most of the game now. There's something for you to find there too, you know, yourself. And yeah, I just really love the game. I'm just gonna move on, and next let's take a look at the negatives in this game. There weren't really many. When it comes to stuff I found negative in this game, well, in older Dynasty Warriors games you could choose from multiple protagonists. There were tons of those. In this one you were stuck with playing the one character. I don't mind that, but a little customization wouldn't hurt. You know, I think that would have been kind of cool. Give me the option to put mustache. Come on, mustache. Maybe different hair too. Mustache. But I can't really take points off this game because of that. That's personal preference. I like mustache heroes, okay. I got mustache, so hey, where's my representation? Towards the end, it is basically just going from one battle to another battle, and it is that kind of one-trick pony hack and slash stuff. But goddammit, that pony's great. They really outdid themselves with the pony. I mean, they made their pony flashy. They covered the pony in glitter, then they glued some cats all over the pony, and they set it on fire and threw it off a cliff. That's how flashy the pony was here, the one-trick pony. Obviously, that's a terrible thing to do. I love cats, and I'm cool with ponies too. But if you were to walk out there in the woods and you'd see a flaming pony that has glitter and cats stuck to it flying off a cliff, your first thought wouldn't be, my god, that's just cruel what they're doing to those animals. No, it would be, what kind of fucking glue did they use to keep all those cats while they're burning stuck to that pony? That's amazing. I need the same glue. That'll glue anything. But yeah, it's really hard to find something negative in this. It's not a perfect game, but there's really nothing wrong about it either. World map's kinda tiny, but it's really not about that as much as it is about the battles. I mean, it took a little over 50 hours for me to beat this game, but still, that hack and slash, it never really got too old for me. You know, that's just testament how goddamn enjoyable game they managed to make here. My hat's off to Koei Tecmo, who made this game. I believe it was that. They've made all the other Dynasty Warriors games too. Yeah, I can't find anything too much wrong about this game. Sure, the story is kind of cliched and old, you know, amnesia, and then there's the war thing. And the war thing's kind of, well, there's been lots of different wars, but the amnesia angle, it's done so many times in so many different medias. Movies, TV shows, games. I'm sure there's songs about amnesia too. I don't know. Books. I'm sure there's books too. I don't read much. Which isn't surprising. But overall, I love this game. It was fantastic. You know what? I'm just gonna give you a score now. I gotta say, best Dynasty Warriors games ever made this day. And I don't say that lightly. Nostalgia is like crack to me. I rarely put modern games over games I feel really nostalgic to, like Dynasty Warriors 2. But this game, this is so fucking good. They really managed to. The score, yeah. I'm gonna go with 9 out of 10. Definitely gonna be on my Game of the Year list. It's gonna be a tough candidate to beat. God dang, just awesome game from start to finish. Who do I recommend this to? Well, first of all, if you like Dynasty Warriors series, you're gonna love this game. Probably. I don't know. Unless there's something wrong with you. If you like epic, huge battles and you like hack and slash, you know, action games where you just keep mowing down enemies after enemies after enemies after enemies, and you really want to feel like unbeatable warrior out there in the battlefield, this will give you that feeling. I felt like a god at times. I got nothing else to say here. I've talked so much here. I'm gonna go now. Fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more crap. I might start this again. God damn it, this was so good. Loved it. It's Dynasty Warriors. I was so worried I'd get sick and tired of this, but I didn't. That's how good it was. That's how great it was. Goodbye. Peace at last. All of China. For the first time in history, covered in peace. Wow. You know, no one really warned me that achieving peace by killing everyone make me feel so lonely. Huh. Right. I wonder if Japan needs any peace.